Sorry for that. I think we can start. Okay. So, how are you guys? Um, my name is Thomas. I am the quality assurance engineer at Serianu, and basically what I do is I basically let me put it in layman's terms. So let's say we're building a house, we're building a mansion, and we have a client who's paid for the mansion and they've probably paid like 100 million. And we finished building the mansion and now it's time to tell that person to come see the mansion and tell us whether he or she likes it or not. So before, let's say you're going to see that person tomorrow, I'll be called in today. And then I'll come and check on the finishing on the house. I'll come check whether the sinks are okay. I'll come check whether the window panes are okay. I'll come check whether the toilets flush. I'll come check all of the nitty-gritties. I'll come check if the walls are all at 90 degrees at the corners, etc. So that when now the company goes and asks for the 100 million for the mansion, it's justified. Quality assurance is pretty much the same thing. Quality assurance applies across everywhere. It applies across medicine, it applies across um, supermarkets, it applies across even Juakali. Basically, I'm the guy that says that this product or this new feature that has been created can now be moved into something we call production. Production is when you go to Spotify.com, YouTube.com, and you go to Facebook.com. That's their production server. Me, I work on the development server or the UAT server, whereby before anything is pushed to, let's say, Spotify, or let's say before the person comes views the house, it has to go through me, and then I have to check it and then say that, okay, we are good to go. And if there's something wrong, for example, if the finishing isn't okay in the toilet, or if the finishing for the maybe the deployment of the application has a bug and it's not deploying, I'll say that no, you cannot deploy anymore. So that's an analogy of basically what quality assurance people do. Basically, we assure that what the client is expecting is what the client is getting. So there I've just used analogies, but in my place of work, it's creating web applications, creating a new feature that maybe integrates with an API, and then now me, I come, I test the front end, I test the back end, make sure the API is actually sending me the right JSON or the right data, and then now I tell the product owner, okay, we can move this to now whatever.com, which was, as I said, the production server. Any questions in terms of what a QA does, or if that analogy has made any sense? Any questions? And I also like interactivity, so if you'd like to ask. Okay. So for my presentation, oh sorry, yes, Mr. Charles. Hello, Charles. I can't hear you. Okay. Um, I can't hear you. I think we can circle back to you. Okay. So the goal of this is to basically. Oh, I can hear you now.
Yes.
I can hear you now, Mr. Charles. You had a question? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Now,
You had your hand
my
up.
question was,
Yeah.
my question was,
Yes.
during test, when is the testing normally done? During retro or during stand-up? Okay, stand-up, I mean, every day, somebody
Yeah.
picks a task, then once they have done, they explain, this is what I did yesterday, and today this is what I want to pick. I think once somebody is through the task, they are supposed to push it to somebody who is going to
Yeah.
review to check if it is okay. If not, then it is returned to the
Develop.
queue for him to make some corrections.
That's 100% correct. So I'll say two things. Number one, stand up is that meeting that we have every morning. So it doesn't happen during stand up, but every morning I am always told to test something new. So during stand up is when I'm told what to test that's new. Not I won't test during the stand up, I'll test after. The retrospective is basically when you're planning for like a month's worth of work. Month's worth of work. Yes. So basically what happens is during that 1 month worth of work, we plan and say that this is what we're going to create etc. So that's the developer being talked to. And then now me when I'm talked to, I'm told I need the test cases for A, B, C, and D. And then I need you to run them on week 3. So yes, so I'd say that's those meetings is when we plan on what is to be tested, but the actual testing occurs like a 9 to 5 job. It's like a 9 to 5 job. So you're always testing every day. That's all you do, ideally.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So for this session, I wanted to do a hands-on session, but I'm currently using something called Fedora Linux, and it has file permission issues, so I'm not able to share like a whole window. I can only share tabs. So I wanted to share my code editor for visual learning, but what we'll have to do, we'll have to use this documentation, and then sadly you guys will have to do the hard work. But I'm going to use this as my whiteboard. So basically we finished who I am. Okay. So now the goal for this is to teach you guys about this beautiful, amazing thing that Cloud came up with called Model Context Protocol. Now, kindly raise your hand if you've interacted with AI. AI means ChatGPT also, it also counts. If you've interacted with AI and if you've interacted with MCPs, and if someone could kindly define for me either or, there are no wrong answers. Okay, so we'll start with Nandwa, then we go to Miss Crispin, and then we go to Mr. Joshua. So let's start with Nandwa. Yes.
Yeah, so what's the question? I was just raising it.
Pardon? Your mic is a bit low.
I was and because I've interacted with the
Which one specifically?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Miss Crispin.
Good evening, it's Mr. Crispin, not Miss.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Artificial intelligence helps automate work that are sometimes may be repetitive, to say, and it uses intelligence to do the work over and over instead of a human being going through a lot of records, listing them down. An AI can do that, and it can use the intellect that it's been created with.
Okay. Okay. that's a very good take. Secondly, apologies for your name. Apologies. That's my bad. Yes, that's a very good take. So basically, you're able to automate repetitive tasks. When you think of repetitive tasks, I like using analogies. So think of this: a repetitive task is waking up in the morning, showering, eating, and then going to take a matatu to go to work. You do that every day. Every day. Now, of course, that probably can't be automated, but those are things like repetitive tasks. So if it's data entry, every day you have to enter certain things. If, let's say, you're a soldier, a watchman, every day you have to enter the name, second name, ID number, date, signature. So now you can use AI to automate such things. Anyone else was a answer? Okay. So does anyone know what an MCP is? If you don't know, does anyone know what an API is? Yes, Hope and then Crispy.
For an API, it's application programming interface.
Yes.
Nika for M-Pesa.
Mm-hmm.
It just it just connects. It's like connecting two systems in a way they talk to each other, something of the sort.
Yeah, so we could say like it's a language for how applications talk to each other. So let's say maybe Jumia and M-Pesa. As an M-Pesa API, after you buy a table on Jumia, you communicate through the M-Pesa API. Okay. Crispy?
MCPs, they are models that are used to communicate with AI agent. Yeah, that's the version I know.
That's a very, very, very good and close answer. That's a very good and close answer. So okay, let me explain MCPs in the simplest way possible. So basically, you're using a chatbot, you're using ChatGPT, and let's say you need to write a letter to your CEO telling him that you'd like to have a party for end of year at Village Market. And then your boss asks you, okay, then come up with a plan and tell me about all of the activities at Village Market. You have two options. You can either go on ChatGPT, tell it, look for Village Market, tell me everything that happens in Village Market, tell me about the restaurants, and then tell me what I can do for the office party. That's one option. And then you go take screenshots of Village Market, you take the links for Instagram, you take every information possible, and then you copy paste it, then you throw it into that chat. And then you click send. If you do that, you're guaranteed to get a more specific response or a response tailored to what you want to give your boss. Or you can take option number 2. You can take an MCP. An MCP is basically what allows a chatbot, I normally define it like this, it's what allows an AI model. Don't think of AI model too deep, just think of a chatbot. It's what allows an AI model to be able to get data directly from websites or applications. So in this case, instead of me copy pasting all of those links and then I throw them into ChatGPT, then I tell it now figure it out, I'll just go connect an MCP for Brave browser. I believe you all know Brave browser. Brave, the one with the lion. I will connect that MCP to my chatbot. Then I'll tell it, using the Brave browser MCP, find me something to do for the office party. Now, if I'm using the Brave MCP, I've not copy pasted links. I've not copy pasted what. Okay, now in R&D we normally call it hard coding, but it's basically copy pasting. I've not hard coded, but let me use layman's. I've not copy pasted the links. I've not attached a PDF document to the menu for a restaurant. I've not attached CGI pictures from maybe the water slides. I don't know if they still have water slides in Village Market. I'm a bit old. I've not attached the theater. I've not attached CG what. I've basically told the AI, you just go search on Brave and then tell me what I can do at Village Market. So MCPs basically gives data context to chatbots. The correct definition is it gives data context to LLMs. But if you think of an LLM, if you get confused, think of ChatGPT. An LLM is ChatGPT 5, ChatGPT 4. That's what an LLM is. So ideally, the point of what I'm going to talk about is how I've adapted that into my workflow. Are there any questions up to that? Because now I'd like to dive deep into the nitty-gritties. Are there any questions to do with MCPs? There are two hands up. I don't know if they've been up for a while or they're new hands up. There's Nando and Justin. Justin, I haven't heard from you. Justin, any questions? Nando?
Sorry, I had raised my hand a long time ago, so it was just a mistake.
Could you unraise it so that I can see the number of people who raised their hands kindly? And then let's go to Abere.
Hi, Thomas.
Hi, sir.
For the explanation, I'd like
Yes.
to understand more on what the difference between an MCP and an agentic application is.
Okay. Describe exactly what you want to do. So you're saying you want to use MCPs inside an agentic application. Okay. Describe exactly what you want to do.
No. I'd like to understand the difference.
Between MCPs and agentic applications.
Yes.
Okay. So if I said that Spotify is an agentic application, would that be okay with you? Reason I'm saying this is because Spotify has the DJ option.
Yes, we can go with that.
Okay, so we've agreed. So that's okay for an agentic application. So an agentic application is like Spotify DJ, whereby if you pay premium, you're able to talk to this DJ and tell it, I want to listen to Franklin. I want to listen to Rose Muhando, and I want to listen to Size 8 music. That's an agentic application. Basically, it has an agent that is able to assist the user to achieve what he or she wants to achieve. Agentic application means it's an application with agents. An agent is an LLM with specific instructions. So an agent can be an LLM that specifically tells you when your food is ready. Another agent tells you specifically when to sleep, etc. And then those agents interact with the APIs for Spotify. And then now an MCP is now Spotify wrapped together, the whole of Spotify. And then now once it's wrapped, your chatbot is able to talk to Spotify. What I mean by wrapped, if you think about object-oriented programming, you can wrap functions. So let's say if you have 10 test cases on one file, you can wrap that test case. Okay, test case is wrong. Let's say you have one page with all of these modules, you can wrap it into one function. So now imagine Spotify has been wrapped. Think about like saran wrap or like wrapping a present. Literally, Spotify has been wrapped like that. And then now it's just one box. And then now your chatbot, all your chatbot does is if it wants to change a song, it talks to that box. If it wants to add a song to your playlist, it talks to that box. So an agentic application is Spotify plus the agents for Spotify talking to Spotify. Think about Spotify DJ, think about Grok. Yes, perfect. That's a good example. Grok inside Twitter. So now Twitter is an agentic application. Now an MCP wraps the whole of Twitter and then allows you to talk to the whole of Twitter. So you can say, get for me the top 10 posts, etc. Does that explanation make sense? With the analogy.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you.
Yeah. So agentic application and MCPs are not the same, but you know, they're this. It's. I don't like saying wrapping, but just think of a Christmas present. The way you wrap it. Once you wrap it, it's called an MCP. And then now you can talk to that Christmas present. You can tell it, what color are you? When is the next color dropping? etc. So instead of going to Spotify, you talk to Spotify from your ChatGPT. That's the difference between agentic application and an actual MCP. But I don't like saying that it's wrapped it because wrapping is basically what APIs do and MCP is not an API. But yes. So could someone confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
So now let me move into the part for MCPs. Okay, I hope you guys understand what an MCP is. If there's anyone who doesn't understand, kindly raise your hand. I'll repeat. An MCP is what is the data. Okay, MCP is data for the LLM. I'm avoiding using the word that it's an API for the LLM because it's not. It wraps the interface. Someone had raised their hand, or you're okay? Okay. So let's move to part 2. So now that I've explained basically, I would have loved to share my IDE, but I can't. So now that I've explained basically what an MCP is, um, what AI is in terms of MCPs and stuff, let's move towards how to use MCPs for QA. I'd ask a question. Who here is interested in quality assurance? I guarantee you it's not a stressful job. It's the best job you'll ever have. Okay. Okay. Those are 3 people. Okay. Okay. It's good to see. It's the best job you'll ever have. You will have so much free time. No one will bother you at 2 a.m. asking you what is the test case pass rate for the demo tomorrow at 8 a.m. It's really fun. So I guess you guys can tell from my sarcasm, it's not fun. Being a QA, basically, imagine you have 10 modules. A module means login, forgot password. These are the modules. So now imagine you have 10 of them. And then your stakeholder decides, or rather has a meeting, and then decides to tell you, like 12 hours before his meeting, I have a demo with this company, and we're going to demo production. Is this certain feature okay? So I'll use a story, my story. So basically that used to happen to me a lot when I started working, before I started automating my stuff. And then what would happen is, wait, is Brian Austin, have you guys raised your hands, or is there a question? Chris, Brian, okay. So basically what would happen is I would probably stay up the whole night creating these things called test cases, and then testing the test cases, and then I'd have to change the test status. So test status means pass or fail, to either passed or failed. Now, normally I would average around, every time I'd be asked such questions, I would have to test around 400 to 500 test cases. So I have one question before I continue. If you're in my situation, how would you test 500 test cases? In layman's terms, what I mean is, how would you, let's say you're given 500 tasks, how would you tick each task, either passed or failed, truthfully? Does anyone have an answer?
I would exhaust some friends, asking them to help out.
You'd exhaust?
I would ask my friends to help me.
So that's a good answer, but you have to think about the data privacy laws. But yeah, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. Evelyn?
For me, I would automate the simpler ones or the most repetitive ones that I do.
That's the direction that I like to hear. That's the direction I like to hear. Brian, Stephen? Brian, Stephen? Okay. So ideally, what I'd do is I'd stay up at night and make the test cases and then test them one by one, one by one, one by one, one by one, one by one. There are actually 500 of them. Now, here's what happens when you test as a human. Number one, you get tired. That's the first thing. Number two, you start making mistakes. Number three, this one I can guarantee it will always happen to you. Everyone who works gets to some point or some certain time of the day when they're like, okay, yeah, I'm done with work. And if I'm going to work, I'll just do it haphazardly. Now, once you do that, because I normally actually have like around 500 to 300 test cases to test per day, every day. When I wake up, I just know that I have around 300. And then I got to a point where I was like, okay, this is becoming a bit tedious, especially for me, and this is going to affect the team. Now, let me explain what that means. Tiredness. If you get tired and you're staring at that screen and you're testing 500 test cases, I guarantee you at least 50 test cases after you test will not be accurate answers. Yes, Joshua? Joshua? Okay. Around 50 of them will not be accurate. And then that's because you're tired. And then now number two, it's reached that time for you to relax. If you're supposed to relax, maybe you're supposed to go to the gym, maybe you're supposed to go do etc. You'll go do it, but when you come back to work, you won't really focus. And then there's a ripple effect after. If you are tired, if you are feeling some type of way, what happens is you will test and then you'll tell the team, you guys have passed by 95%. Your test cases have passed. But that's not the real answer. It's because you're tired. And then they will push you to production. Remember, production is like facebook.com, youtube.com, meaning anyone can reach it. And then you get a bug. And then maybe that bug is to do with payments for that feature. Now imagine that bug lasts there for 2 weeks. So for 2 weeks, you've lost money because of a bug. Now, as I said in the beginning of this meeting, remember the house analogy? When you build 100 million shilling house, I'm the one who comes to check the finishing, I'm the one who comes to check the sinks, whatever. So now my boss comes and asks me, why have we found a bug today that is to do with payments? And then I'm like, oh, I didn't even know about it. What do you mean you didn't know about it? We paid 100 million shillings for this house. Sorry, we were paid 100 million shillings for this house. We justified why we were paid. And now you're telling me you didn't even know that there was no window at the main door. So I thought to myself, like someone had explained earlier, AI and MCPs is basically automating the repetitive tasks. I was like, okay, how do I automate these things? And I was like, I'm going to create an MCP for running my test cases. So basically, I have been able to automate my job up to 90%. That was an analogy. So now when I move here, it should make sense because this part that I've highlighted is actually starting with MCPs. But like that's a reason why you should automate etc. Because now when I've automated, my test cases are run automatically. They're run with AI and I get a report. Now, the best part about that, I can focus on something else for like the next 30 minutes straight as my test cases are being tested properly. So that work I used to do for 300 test cases, testing each of them, changing the status for each of them, I don't do it nowadays. I just basically created an MCP. And basically, all I do is I enter my chatbot and I tell it, I want you to test for me the payment system for, let's say, let's say Uganda tea growers company. I want you to test for me that. That MCP will go pull all of my test cases, make a plan, run them one by one, test it, and give me a report. So that's where automation MCPs all come in. So MCPs are part of automation, but the goal for me for this demo was for this mentorship was to actually show you how to actually integrate it. But I actually wanted you guys to understand why and how you should do this, especially the why. If you have repetitive tasks, again, I'll use an analogy. Imagine you're a watchman. You have to put the first name, second name, signature, date, not time in, time out. Yeah, it's normally those ones, and the date. Those are exactly 6 columns on an Excel sheet. So you can either choose to sit at the gate or at the door for 12 hours straight, or you can automate that process, maybe by having a tablet at the gate that someone enters all of that data. So I like referring to soldiers. I don't like calling them watchmen. I like calling them soldiers. To soldiers because cybersecurity, you're basically a watchman. You're basically a watchman for a big website or a big company. That's basically what you are. That's what I think of it. You're basically a watchman. Some companies are like, hiring one individual watchman. Some companies are like hiring Jeff Hamilton or like hiring G4S. So now, does anyone have any question in terms of MCPs, automation, why you should use it, etc., before I get into exactly how to connect an MCP? Yes, Mr. Dave.
I do have a question concerning does that pose a risk to job automating everything?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It does not. It does not. Reason being, okay, so right now where AI is more of a, okay, think of AI like this. Think of it like this. I'm talking about AI in general because MCPs is still under the same thing. It's like having a house help so that when you get home, you don't have to cook and you don't have to mop the house. So if I was to say it would be in terms of replacing, I would say that if you hire a house help, that house help would become the wife, the husband, the landlord, the owner, etc. But basically what you have is an assistant. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, so think of it as an assistant. Like for me, I've automated 90% of my job because I want assistance. Sharon?
So you're using the MCP to run test cases. Can you also use it to generate? And now since you've also wrapped your application, can it check if there are any edge cases you missed?
Just 1 second, Sharon. Just 1 second. I connect now. Sorry about that. I was fixing my earphones. So yes, yes. So for my MCP, so I've gotten to the point where I create my own MCPs. So my MCPs, yes, they tell me. So let's say I have a bunch of test cases that I need to automate. So I'll start automating them, and then let's say I automate them for 2 hours, and then of course I'm a human being. Remember that I have fatigue and I forget. So after an hour, I'll go back to that chatbot. Then I'll tell it, look at my test cases. Sorry, not the chatbot, the MCP. Look at the test cases I created. This is what I expected to achieve. Compare those two. And then tell me where I've gone wrong and then fix it. So yes, it can also work in terms of that. And in fact, that's a good question. That's actually what I was doing today. That's actually what I was doing today. Joshua, Dave, I hope I've answered you, Sharon.
Yes,
Or
I have an additional question.
yes.
So for every application you're testing, do you create a different MCP to now wrap that application?
No. So, okay, so allow me to share my screen in another tab for 1 second, just for Sharon. Just very, very quickly. Share this tab instead. Can you see this tab that I'm on?
Yes.
Yeah. So, let me explain MCP again. Maybe they explained it was a bit complex. An MCP, okay, don't use the word wrapping. Don't use the word wrapping. Don't use that word. It's not, an MCP is not an API that's wrapped. An MCP is basically wrapping an application so that the AI can talk to it. Like wrapping Google into an MCP so that a chatbot, any chatbot, ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini, Cloud, whatever, can talk to that same application. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, just remember this. An MCP is not an API for chatbots. Just remember that. It's not an API for chatbots. Chatbots can still interact with APIs. It's like basically wrapping a whole application so that your chatbot can talk to it. It's not an API.
Yeah.
Okay. Dave? So,
Sorry, you didn't answer me.
pardon?
I was asking for every different application that you have that you need to test. Do you need to have a different MCP?
Oh no, I just have one master MCP called Thomas MCP. I
So
have
an
one
MCP.
MCP.
Okay. Okay, fine.
I can see where the confusion is coming in. I can see where the confusion is coming in. No, you do not need different MCPs to test different applications. I'll give you an example. There's an MCP for Docker. So once I install that MCP for Docker, whenever I'm creating a Docker container with that MCP for Docker, I don't have to create new Docker MCPs. I'll just use the same MCP and create multiple Docker containers. So I'll use the same MCP for QA to test multiple applications because I've already explained the basics of what I wanted to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So for example, this is what I was showing you guys. So this is something called Casa. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen Casa. If you haven't, it's basically VS Code with a free chatbot. So as you can see, we have you see you have a Google Ads MCP, meaning that if you connect Google Ads to your Casa, it can be used across many advertisements. If you have the Docker MCP, you can integrate it. It can be used to create many Docker containers. If you have the Figma MCP, you can create wireframes for many applications. etc and etc. You see, I have a Postgres MCP, so I can connect to many Postgres databases and then talk to them on the chatbot. Okay. So let's move to download and install. Dave and Abel. Any?
I think I'm confusing myself more and more, but from the new explanation you have given, how different is that from giving an agent a tool to access the same application?
Describe a tool in this context so that I can answer specifically. What do you mean by tool? Do you mean a tool like send an email on GitHub? Sorry, Gmail? Is that what you mean by tool?
Yes. When you're creating agents, you're required to give them memory, tools, and tasks.
Perfect. Yes. So nowadays, you see the way you're able to give it tools like send an email, read an email, etc. So now instead of giving it a tool, the tool that you give it is the configuration for the Gmail MCP. So now before we were using tools, but now an MCP is a, what is it called? How do you, when you put things together, what is it called? It's a compilation of tools for specific application. That's the perfect example. An MCP is a combination of tools for specific application. So let's say if you create an AI agent, then you give it 2 tools, send email and receive email. Now, instead of doing that, you give it the MCP for Gmail, and then it ends up having like 20 to 30 tools. Does that answer your question?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So MCP ni kama Tools Pro Max.
Exactly. Ni tools Pro Max. It's like having Spotify alafu ulipie Spotify Premium. And it's basically, yes, exactly what Abel has said. Before we used to give AI agents tools. Now instead of giving it an individual tool, you give it an MCP. And then when it hits that MCP, it's able to access 20, 30, 40 tools instead of you defining one tool. One tool, for example, is send an email, receive an email, create a test case, test a test case, create a bug, etc, etc. So, any other questions before I move into exactly how to connect an MCP? I would have loved to show you on my IDE, but I think it's also okay that I'm showing you over here so that it can give you guys some homework. Mr. Dennis?
So can we say that an MCP is basically giving it not just one tool, but all the tools plus data, plus the data of that platform without having to create custom APIs for every specific platform?
Yeah, okay. Number one, MCP API is not the same thing. So ask your question again with that in mind. Just keep that in mind. I
I'm
know if you
saying,
interact with MCPs, they'll feel like they're the same, but just keep that in mind and then ask me what you're asking again. API MCP is not the same.
what I'm gathering is that what an MCP it does, it basically gets rid of the API and gives sort of a direct connection to the tools and the data of an application.
No, not really. Not really. An MCP, okay, so an application is a combination of APIs. That's an application. It's a combination of APIs and a front end. The front end is the one that calls the APIs, then you get the data to the front end, etc. An MCP is a channel that allows you to communicate with that application. It's like saying it's using Sheng to talk to a certain person, or it's like using English to talk to a certain person. So it's a protocol for AI models. The same way API is a protocol for two applications to talk. A simple example is Jumia and M-Pesa. When you go on Jumia and you buy a table, and then you click Pay M-Pesa now, you get an STK. And then once you do the STK thing, that person receives money. So there's an M-Pesa API in the middle. So that's a protocol for the way Jumia and M-Pesa are talking. So now MCPs is a protocol for the way Jumia and ChatGPT can talk. So if I want to tell ChatGPT, I need you to find me this on Jumia, instead of it googling jumia.com and then signing in and then googling, I can just go directly to Jumia and tell it, Jumia MCP, tell me what is the price of a dining table that seats 4 people. So that's why I'm trying to encourage the avoidance of comparing API to MCPs. They're not the same thing, but they work together.
I get the what the MCP is, but in order to do that, it has to have access to the tools of that application, let's say Jumia, and all the data in it.
Oh, perfect. That's why I'm getting to part two. So now it's 8:06. I don't want to waste you guys this time. I'm going to do this part two in like 2 minutes. Dave, do you have a question before I proceed? So I'm going to answer your question, Dennis, right now for exactly how to connect. That's what I'm going to. Dave, do you have a question?
Yeah, my question was large language LLMs are known to be biased when overwhelmed with data. You've said you like use automation with MCPs and these LLMs to like test over 500 unit cases. If this is the case, if the LLM is as likely as I to make mistakes, how do you handle that?
Okay, think of it like this, Dave. If I tell you I need you to paint my wall black and white, that's just vague. I just told you, Dave, paint my wall black and white. How would you paint it?
Just like you've instructed it.
You'll just do some black and white stripes. You can do whatever as long as it's black and white. Sindio?
Yeah.
And then what if I tell you, Dave, I need you to paint my wall black and white, and I want it to look like the inspiration from this book, and then I give you a book. And then you read that book for 1 week, and then you come paint my wall. Will there be a difference or not?
Well, there will be a difference.
So when you're talking to a chatbot, you can either upload your files. Let's say you want to create a CV or something. You can upload your files, copy paste the links, and then tell it to do its research. Or you can just give it the LinkedIn MCP and then tell it, create for me a resume that looks like the one for LinkedIn. Where this story correlates with my analogy, I gave you a book about how I want it painted black and white. So that's where the difference enters. It's the information that you're giving the chatbot. Normally, to give a chatbot information, you need to copy paste or attach. But if you're using an MCP, it gets the information directly. With my analogy, the MCP that you're using is the book that I gave you on painting black and white.
I think my question was on how you'll handle bias on your LLM when you're telling it to test like a lot of unit cases.
Okay, so for my LLM, for my agent, just like the same with the book analogy, I've already specified exactly how it's supposed to test. And then it tests. Now, let's say it makes a mistake and gives me the wrong output. Normally, I just correct it, and then I tell it to save to its memories, and then I tell it to proceed.
So we're on 150,000,
okay.
250,000.
Yeah.
They have a car loan or insurance, and they're paying around 120.
Okay. So let me go to exactly how to integrate MCPs. Now, everyone here, I believe, has to have Visual Studio Code at least. I see no hands. I believe everyone has it. What I use is called Casa, but Casa is basically Visual Studio Code. And basically what happens is this. For you to connect an MCP, it's something known as JSON. Who here doesn't know what JSON is? Not JSON, like JSON, JavaScript Object Notation. Okay. So, Audrey? Okay. So the format of adding an MCP is in JSON. Are we together until then? Okay. So you can have multiple systems. Let me just make this a bit spacious. You can have cursor, comma, wind serve, comma, VS Code, comma, Gemini dash CLI, and then comma, and what's the last one? Cloud code. Cloud code. Now, before I take Eric's question,
Just a quick one. Are you sharing your
listen.
screen? We can't see your screen.
Now, can you see now?
Yeah, we can see the we can see we can see the your screen right now. Yeah. Yeah. But were you
Apologies for
sharing were you sharing this part of the IDE or maybe whichever thing you are printing?
I would have loved to share my IDE, but the operating system I'm using right now has a lot of security things, and it doesn't allow me to share. I work at Serianu, so I have to be anyway. So I'd have to share with you this.
Okay,
so
no issue.
How do you install an MCP? There's one thing I've forgotten over here. In fact, even before I start with cursor, this one, chat GPT. So download and install. So now, guys, I'm giving the exact instructions for how to get started with using MCPs. Does anyone have any questions up until here before I jump into the exact instructions that I would like you guys to implement after this meeting? Any questions? I hope I've explained the explanation for MCP like in an analogy that's understandable. Okay. So you can install MCPs on ChatGPT. Yes, I said ChatGPT, the one on the browser. Yes, it has MCP integration too. You can install it on Cursor. You can install it on something called Windsurf. You can install it on VS Code. You can install it on Gemini CLI. Yes, that Gemini for Google. And then you can install it on Cloud Code. Now, the reason why I've written all of them in one straight line is because for you to define an MCP, use a language called JSON. Now, JSON is adaptable anywhere. It doesn't matter. That's the language that APIs speak. If you're creating a new user, no, wait, that's a lie. Let's say if you're adding a new song, or if you're liking a song on YouTube, or if you're liking a post on Instagram, immediately you like it, there's an API that's called that posts the information. So, you know, the CRUD operations: create, read, update, delete. Yeah. Every time that happens, there's an API that's called. That API sends data through JSON and receives data through JSON. So the same configuration for MCPs that you might have for ChatGPT can be spread across all of these. I will show you our configuration later on. So basically, now I've explained what an MCP is. I've explained how AI works with MCPs, etc. So now this is about the implementation. So this specific part is very important. I hope you guys actually just go and try it after this. And I'm being very serious. Basically, you download and install one of these applications. And then course, you open your IDE. And then now, this is the second part. Is anyone confused with the first part? Download ChatGPT, Cursor, or VS Code. Does anyone not know how to do that? Okay, perfect. Now, number 2. This is now the golden part. This part over here that I've highlighted. Yes, Stephen? Hello, Stephen? Okay. So this is the golden part, what I'm highlighting. This language that I've just highlighted is called JSON. No one has raised their hands, meaning that we all understand what JSON is. And if we don't, kindly just ask me or ChatGPT it, but you can ask me too. So this is the structure of this is exactly how you're gonna connect your MCPs. So starts with MCP servers. I'm not going to explain the structure of this JSON bit because JSON is very easy to edit. So you see I have a YouTube summarizer. The YouTube summarizer ends until here. You see these 4 lines of code? If you put these 4 lines of code inside VS Code, Gemini CLI, and etc., you will be connected to the YouTube summarizer MCP. What does that do? Let's say you want to watch a tutorial or you want to study for your exams, Apana. Study for your exams, don't use MCPs. Let's say you want to come up with a new project for tomorrow's demo, and you've been told to find out about how to do 1, 2, 3, 4. You can take the YouTube summarizer MCP. Now guys, remember what I told you. An MCP is not an API, and it's like wrapping an API, but it's not wrapping an API. YouTube summarizer has not caught all of the APIs for YouTube. Basically what it does, it extracts the YouTube transcript and then it summarizes it for you, and then now you can ask your chatbot questions about this specific video. And then let's say now I've added that one, and then I can add another MCP. This one is called super memory. So these are the things that I wanted to show you. In fact, I'll take a screenshot. Kindly check your charts. I'll send you a screenshot. Super memory. Okay, so number 1 is YouTube summarizer. So let's say I want to learn about doing security testing. I will go on YouTube, look at that video, I'll open it, play it on the side, take my YouTube summarizer, give it the link, tell it summarize for me what this guy is saying. I'd like to read it first before he continues talking. Then I read what he's saying, and then he continues talking. And then, how do I remember what I learned about QA? Now, mind you, what I'm teaching you is a framework. It doesn't just apply to QA, but since it worked for QA, it can be applied everywhere. Super memory, how do I remember? Because remember, chatbots are daft, like DAFT. They're daft. They're not, I'm not saying they're dumb or anything, no, they're daft, meaning they don't have context. Hawajui kitu wanafaa wafanye. So now the second MCP, for example, that you'd create is super memory. Super memory keeps memories of what you've done. So let's say if you've done a chat today from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. trying to debug something. So now I'm speaking about myself. That's what I normally be doing. So now for me not to have to copy paste what I did yesterday, I tell my chatbot, create for me super memories for what we've done today. And then all it does is you'll just see create memory, create memory, create memory, create memory, create memory. And then lastly, the golden child. The golden child is called playwright. What is playwright? Let me just Google it for you right now. so that you can see. But basically, Playwright is a library for doing automated tests. So now, remember, imagine having to write 300 tests and then test them. So now I took off 50% of that. Playwright writes my tests, but now I have to test them and then say pass or fail. Sindio? My Playwright MCP, when it talks to my chatbot, it comes and tells me how many have passed and how many have failed. For people interested in QA, Playwright is this thing. Enables reliable end-to-end testing for modern web applications. And it tests on Chrome, Firefox, Safari, and what's this guy called? Microsoft Edge. I don't use Windows. So like this is my structure. So basically what happens is I go and search first. I search and then I say, how do I do security testing? Go on YouTube, find it out for me. Then I say, okay, create for me memories for what you found. And I tell it, okay, now run for me my test cases using the Playwright MCP to run those test cases. Now, remember, you see this file, what I'm highlighting, this can be transferred across Casa, Cloud Code, ChatGPT, etc. because the format is the same. The format is called JSON. Yes, Mr. Benson?
Can you return back to the document?
Sorry, can you see it now?
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I was saying, let me repeat what I was saying. So basically, let's say, for example, I'll summarize how to test in a certain way, maybe security testing, end-to-end testing, BAPT testing, risk assessment testing, etc. Instead of me going down to sit down and learn how to do, okay, of course I know how to do it, but like instead of me sitting down and telling the AI chatbot exactly how it's gonna do all of these things, I'll just find a video on YouTube and then tell it, use the YouTube summarize MCP to figure out what is that video saying. And then it'll go figure out what the video is saying. And then I'll tell it, okay, I like your summary. Please add it to your memory. Now we move to the second MCP. I would like you guys to kindly note this word up here, JSON, this basic structure. Kindly note this part. The structure is the same across all AI things. So you have your YouTube, you summarize what you need to do, and then you tell it to create memories. Reason you're creating memories is so that the next time you chat with it, you don't attach files. And then now you tell it, I would like you to go test for me, let's say, for example, YouTube authentication to see whether it will pass, etc. Now, this configuration can be spread across all of these platforms. Casa, Cloud, Windsurf, Gemini CLI. Gemini CLI is free. So if you don't pay for anything, just start with Gemini CLI. If you don't want to pay for anything, start with Gemini CLI. And then also ChatGPT Web. ChatGPT Web you have to pay though. But start with Gemini CLI. Now, part 3, I was going to show you exactly how to install an example MCP server. For example, this one is called the YouTube Summarizer, which is the one that we looked at up here, YouTube Summarizer. So basically how you can install them. So basically you can install them through NPX. NPX is Node. Node is the one that runs Akina React, Akina Next.js, those guys. And then you can also use Python. And then I was going to show you how I test with Playwright, but like as I said, I'm not able to share the whole screen because of permission issues. I'm using this really complicated Linux, but it's because of work and data privacy things. But ideally, my demonstration was to show you guys how to use MCPs to automate your work or your repetitive tasks. And then the point was to use myself as an example for how I did it. But I didn't really dive down deep into how I did it because I would like you guys to understand how MCPs work ideally and how automating your processes would work and how that would integrate. But ideally, I use MCPs whereby I have test cases set up somewhere. And then before, what I would do is basically take one test case, go online, click, sign in, test it, and then go back to where the test case is and then say whether it's passed or failed, etc. But now we can automate these things through MCPs. Are there any questions in terms of MCPs and how to automate your repetitive tasks? And kindly note, I've shown you exactly how to start immediately after this meeting. Install Casa or install ChatGPT, Casa, Windsurf, VS Code, Gemini, CLI, or Cloud Code. The configuration is the same. It's JSON. It's all the same. And then now after you install it, now all you need to do is figure out, okay, what are my repetitive tasks? Let's go back to the analogy for the watchman. His repetitive tasks are first name, second name, signature, time in, time out. And then now you integrate your MCPs into any of these applications. And if you don't feel like paying money, remember what I've said, use Gemini CLI. Gemini CLI is free forever. So I apologize, I wasn't able to show exactly how it's working on my IDE, but basically the plan is to teach you guys how to use MCPs to automate your repetitive tasks. And that's going to be the end of my demo. I would kindly request questions, and I would kindly request questions, kindly. Let's start with Kelly, and then we'll move to Sam.
Okay, my question is, how will we access this this document that you're using for the installation purposes?
You mean this document on the screen?
Yes, that one.
What I can do, okay, but see, I hope you know this document is my demo script. This is like my script of what I was supposed to do. Or like, are you okay with this? Like, you'll be able to understand it.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So how can you access it? I'll send it to the chat just right now. Let me just send it right now. Okay, chat isn't available. How do you access it? How do you access it? Okay. So I'm seeing your external. so I can't send a chat. I wanted to copy paste and send it to you. If you have a book or something, can you write something down? Sam. Oh, okay. Write thomas.adika@serianu.com. thomas.adika@serianu.com. Send me an email, I'll send it to you. Because I'm not able to post directly on this chat. Let's move to the second person. Benson?
A minute. So, can you first repeat?
Wait, Benson. Hello, Benson.
Okay. Can you repeat exactly your email?
Benson, just give me 1 minute. Just let me connect my earphones. It's raining where I am. That's why you guys can't hear me well. Just 1 second. So easy to do. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Thomas.adika Thomas.adika at serianu.com.
Okay. So I had a question.
Yes, sir.
The question goes like this.
Yes.
I know that you have already gave us the basic structure of it in the JSON.
And don't forget the analogy, because most of the time the meeting I was spending on the analogy, because integration, like I said, is JSON. And once you have that JSON, you can spread it across all of your AI clients, Casa, Windsurf, VS Code, ChatGPT. But yes, continue. But just remember that it's JSON. Proceed.
So I really wanted to how to integrate with the ChatGPT before.
Got you. Okay.
Before I go on.
Okay. I'll show you. But so just look at my screen. I'm sharing this screen. Let's move to the next question. Nandwa.
Yeah, hello, sir.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. My question was just, it's a mentorship class, and you've run something today. So today I didn't know anything about
You sound a bit far. You sing?
You can't hear me.
I can hear you now.
You can hear me.
I can hear you, but you're not clear. But yes, I can hear you.
But I think that if I'm not clear,
just ask. Just ask.
Well, I was just saying, today is a mentorship class, and as an IT person, it taught me something new that I really didn't know, the MCPs. So I just wanted to learn something from your final intake, like, yeah, it's an open forum and you're asking for questions. So I just wanted to hear from final say from someone who's learning new things and everything, just to check like the final, the final advice. Let me just say that, like, I really didn't know anything about the MCP. To be honest, I only knew the API. Someone will ask me what's an MCP, and I wouldn't give any answer.
Okay. So, would you like an action plan advice?
Yeah.
Okay. Download Casa, integrate the MCP, start talking to it.
I'm writing it down. Just give me a moment.
Yeah. So download something called Casa. So when you go on the internet, it's called casa.sh. Like Casa kama ile Casa ya mouse. Cursor, like Cursor, Casa. Install Casa on your laptop. Install the MCPs on Casa. Remember, it's a JSON. So on Casa, there's a file called mcp.json. Add one MCP, add the YouTube summarizer or something, and then just start talking to it. So if you're asking me in terms of action plans, that's what I'll tell you.
Okay.
Okay, so someone asked me how to integrate MCPs onto ChatGPT. Who was that? Who asked me that? Okay. So 1 second. I want to show you just right now. I want to show you how easy it is. And I apologize for taking your time. It's reached 38. We need to finish this meeting. I apologize for extending the meeting. I really, really do apologize. I really do. Okay. So let me share. Can you see my ChatGPT screen? Can anyone confirm?
Yes. Yes.
Perfect. So you come here of the plus. Oh,
Hello.
okay. So you can't
Yes.
connect MCPs to ChatGPT. It has to be the pro version. So the account I signed in with is not the pro version. So basically over here for the pro version, it has something called add connectors. It will call it something like add connectors. And then once you add the connectors, you'll be able to connect your ChatGPT to MCPs. So for that one, you'll have to pay. But you don't have to pay, just download Casa. Download Casa. Casa, you'll get 2 weeks free of a premium version. So Casa is the cheap option of ChatGPT. Now, if you don't pay for Casa, you can just go the complete open source way. Just use Gemini CLI. Now, remember, keyword, the JSON file that you use in Casa can be used on Gemini, Windsurf, Cloud Code, etc. all the way. So you can copy paste. You can keep copy pasting. You can keep copy pasting. Cyprian? Let's go to Cyprian and then we go to Sam. Cyprian, are you there? Okay. We'll spin back to you, Cyprian. Let's go to Sam and then we go to Mr. Brian. Sam? Sam? Your hand is up? Okay, let's move to Mr. Brian. Mr. Brian Peter.
Can you hear me?
Sorry, Sam. Sorry, Sam. Yes, Sam, continue.
Do you have a public repo maybe where we can access the script?
Huh. Okay. That's a good question. Let me see. Okay, chat is not available in this meeting. Okay. So chat, okay, I wanted to send the link for the repository on the chat because I'd created a private repository. But since I can't send any chats, we'll have to do this a bit kienyeji. So if anyone wants the repository, I'd like you to kindly take my email down right now and then just shoot me an email and then I'll invite you to the repository. I obviously have to make it private because of data privacy rules for CyberShuja, so I can't make it a public repository, but I can invite people. But for this call, I don't have permissions to access the chat because ideally I just wanted to post it on the chat. So if you would like my email, kindly raise your hand and then just email me and then I'll email you back immediately. So I have 4 hands raised, 5, 6, let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We had 20, we had 21. I wanted to get to the end so that I can say out my email right now. And kindly send me an email right now, if possible. And if you're sending it later, just mention CyberShuja, because I'm not able to send chats on this call that I'm on. I would have just sent the repository. Okay, so we have 22 people. Perfect. So are you guys ready for the email? Thomas.adika@serianu.com. Thomas.adika, ADIKA, at serianu.com. Can you see my screen over here? Let me go. Thomas Adika at serianu.com. I hope you guys can see my screen. It's the one that I've just highlighted over there. Is that okay? Can anyone who doesn't have my email out of the 22 people? From what I'm highlighting on the screen, anyone? Okay, so we're good. Okay, we're good. Okay, okay. Anyone with any questions, just kindly shout it out because I have a hand up. Kelly?
Sorry to interrupt. I would like to ask you how bright is the future for future QA engineers in the market?
Very bright. Very, very bright for the QA engineers who do a lot of research. So no, it's not okay, remember this. AI is here to be your assistant. So if let's say you're a QA who just shows up to the office and is like, yeah, I'll spend 8 hours testing 20 test cases, then there's no future for you. But if you're a QA who comes to the office and says, okay, I can test your whole system every day, twice, then there's a future for you.
Like earbuds, earbuds. I think so.
Speak louder. Yeah, you're saying, for example? Hello?
Please mute yourself if
Did I answer your question?
you're not answering.
Thank you. I've answered.
Yeah. So basically, if you're a QA who like wakes up and waits to be told what to do, yeah, then your future is gone. But like if you're a QA who wakes up and is like, okay, I want to use this to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your future is not gone. You're the one building the future. Because remember, what I said is AI agents, automations, those are your assistants. Anima assistant wako. Those are your assistants. They won't take your job. But if you're sloppy with your job, like for example, QA, let me speak for myself. Let's say if I'm sloppy, all of the time bugs are getting caught at production instead of testing phase. All of the time, these things, we always have these problems. All of the time, the server keeps going down, but I didn't tell people 10 months before. Your job is gone. It's gone in a heartbeat. But if you're basically always using it and always trying to interact with it, your job is not going anywhere. That's just gonna be your assistant. Let's move to Mr. Brian. No? Okay. Okay. I think I need to make this thing bigger. So I have questions from Justin, Charles, Dennis, CK Emmanuel, Isaac. Let's go by number. Let's start with Justin. So Justin is number 1. Okay, Justin has dropped off. So number 1 is Charles. Charles? Okay. Charles has dropped off. CK Emmanuel? CK Emmanuel? Okay. Samson Manzi? You have your hand up? Okay. Ken, you have your hand up. Any question? Okay. Antonia, you have your hand up. Any question? And lastly, we have Mary Mutahi. You have your hand up. Any question?
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So, I dropped off because of network issues. I was wondering if you mentioned where we can get the recording for this session, because I have had network issues for some time, so I've missed some details.
Recording. Recording. Madam Lorraine, are you on the call by any chance? Madam Lorraine, are you there? Okay. Antonia, you're the one who asked the question.
No, but I have a question.
Sorry, who asked the question? I'm so sorry, Antonia. I'm just confusing names. I have a lot of
It's me. My name is Mary.
Mary. Okay, Mary. I personally don't have the recording. I was presenting. So that's why I was looking for Lorraine. I personally didn't click record. I apologize for that. No, but no, I don't have the recording for this.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
Okay. Antonia, let me go to Manuel and then you. So Manuel had his hand up before you. Then I go to you, Antonia. Manuel? CK, Manuel? Okay. Let's go to you, Antonia. What was your question?
Mine is like guidance or like a way forward. For someone who like studied like software engineering and then they have transitioned to QA, considering that your manager, your boss, so that you have like an eye for the small details of things that they're missing. Is there like a guided approach that someone can take, or like go back to school and study it, or like can just study it here on the job? Because it's kind of tricky. I'm facing some challenges and all.
Okay, so what I'd say is for quality assurance in Kenya, no offense, and I'm very, very, very Kenyan. There's no specific course for quality assurance. So basically, what happens is after you finish college, sorry, university,
On the
you
Mm.
you need
No. Oh, leadership then.
Hello, I kind of lost you.
oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. So for QA, there isn't like a definite course in university that you can do, but the certifications that you can do on Coursera and Udemy. And Coursera, Udemy, I'm not gonna compare them. I'd prefer you take both. So basically for QA, your college will be in Coursera or Udemy. So it's like a specialization. So see, you go do software engineering in college or my university, then now you specialize in something. So if you want to specialize in QA, you can start with Coursera. Do you have a book and pen?
Yeah, I have one.
Write this thomas.adika@serianu.com.
Or your email.
Yeah, the Serianu one. Because I need to reach out to 20 people with the script for MCPs. So I can also reach out to you with that. Thomas.adika@serianu.com.
Okay.
Send me an email. Send me that question. I'm going to send you some resources. But basically, the resources are Coursera and Udemy. Basically, you can do a course. So ideally, after you finish your undergrad, so now ukishamaliza undergrad, now you need to master something. That's why people do masters. Yeah. So if you want to master in data analytics or QA, I can show you how to master into that. And also, before you even master into that, you can still learn about being a QA. You can still be a QA even before you do your masters. You can do your masters 10, 15 years from now. But I can still send you courses on exactly how to be a QA and how to start and how to actually just do it. So in terms of course for school, basically after you finish your undergrad, if you're doing IT or computer science or cybersecurity, whatever you do in masters depends on you. So if you want to specify in that, I would highly encourage it. I would like to tell you that it's a fun profession. No one gives you pressure. You'll have the most fun in your life. I'm lying. I hope you understand that I'm lying. It's a lot of pressure, and it's very, very fun pressure. Like the pressure for learning new things, etc. Like it's actually really fun. So you can specify for that, the way you can specify in a master's for cybersecurity, etc.
Okay, now the tricky part about that is that I'm currently working. It's very funny. But where I'm working as a QA because they've never had one. And now I'm expected like to mentor someone after me, and I'm learning on the job.
As a mentor, I am very, very proud to hear what you just said. Do you have my email?
Yeah, I have it.
Kindly email me right now. I can send you some documentation. So basically what I'll send you is the best practices to use as a QA and how to approach teams as a QA, how to work with teams as a QA. I can send you some documentation on that. It's really helpful documentation, especially if you're a first timer. I remember being in that position like 5 years ago. I remember it's actually really, it's not, wait, guys, it's very easy being a QA. I'm encouraging guys to be a QA. I'm encouraging. It's very easy. But Antonia, kindly email me. So guys, I've shared out my email. Kindly email me and then I can send you back what you want. Antonia, you email me, tell me that about the QA stuff. I can also send you that specific part. Anyone who wants to learn about being a QA, kindly email me and tell me I would like to be a QA, etc. Guys, does anyone not have my email? Because I'm going to, after this call, I'm going to wait for emails and I want to answer them. Does anyone not have my email? Kindly raise your hand. My email is thomas.adika. Adika is Adika. So thomas.adika@serianu.com. Does anyone not have my email? Kindly confirm right now. thomas.adika@serianu.com. Literally, if you click on my name on this chat, on this video call, you'll see my name. Okay. Antonia, have I answered your question? I hope you email me, Antonia. Kindly, please email me so that I can send you. Just please email. If you don't email, that will now just be up to you.
I'm in the process of emailing you at the moment.
Ah, perfect. Okay, let's move to the last question. Felix?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. Thank you for the talk. It was really insightful. So I wanted to ask a few questions.
Yes, sir.
Can you please share how your day in the life is currently, right now, with automation and everything, and how it was, it was before the automation when you first started? The second question is, are you required to be a developer first so that you can do QA, or can you, like, I have a background in cybersec. Can I transition into a QA role, or I'm required to first learn like code like a developer? And I'd also like the resources that you have that you are going to share. So those are my questions. Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, sorry. I'm saying I can hear you. I can hear you. I was asking, do you have my email? This is for me sending you resources before I answer your question.
Yeah, I've already written it down here. I've already sent you an email to for.
Adika@seriano.com. I'll check the emails after this call.
Okay.
So you've asked me day in the life, and then do I need a background in development, etc.
Yeah.
So I'll start with the background question. Do you need a background? No, you do not. Do I prefer if you knew how a backend and a front end works? Yes, I would prefer. If you wanted to enter that role, I would prefer you also learn about that in the sense that just because you're not a front end doesn't mean you don't have to learn about front end. Like just because you're not a skateboarder doesn't mean you don't have to learn how to skateboard. So think of it like that, with that exact theology that I've just given you. As a QA, you don't need to know how to do front end, you don't need to know how to do back end. But if you understand how those things work, when you're reporting your bugs, you'll be in a better position. So no, you do not need any background influence from front end or back end to become a QA. But if you know it, the better for you. Like it's way better. It's like saying, I want to paint the road, but I don't even know anything about roads. Or someone else comes and says, I want to paint for you a road, but I've also done tarmac for a road back in the day. Like it's better if you have some knowledge about how databases and init works, so that when you're testing, when you see an error, you don't just go tell the developer the error was a blank screen. No, you tell the developer the error is a blank screen because the backend sent a 500 status code from the backend, meaning that they didn't send me data, etc. Like that, like that, like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
So,
like you know, but you'd be better off if you knew. What's your second question?
let's finish on this one first. So, I can just if I can read code and understand the logic, I'll be better off than someone who is like completely new to it.
100%. 100%.
Okay.
100%. 100%. Yes, you would be. You would be better off than them. Yes, you would be.
Okay, I've understood.
You wanna become a QA?
Actually, I got an internship somewhere.
Congratulations, first of all. Congratulations.
And just like the previous person that asked the question, I'm supposed to do QA because they don't have a QA. So I'm trying to learn as much as possible about the QA role.
Man, yo, let me write your names down. So that's Antonia and Felix. You guys better email me right now. I can help you guys with that. Antonia plus I don't butcher names. Felix. So basically what will happen is, number one, everyone will hate you in that team because you're telling them that what they're doing is not working. And then basically, this is the day in the life of a QA. You wake up in the morning, then you tell people what you built for 5 weeks is not working. And if it's not working, it's not working. I need it fixed. That's what basically a QA does. And if it's not fixed, I'll keep on saying that it's not fixed. So you two hit me up. If you guys are actually in QA roles, hit me up. I can definitely send you data. I can definitely just email me right now. Any other questions? But for Felix, Antonia, the people entering QA, just email me right now. I'll send you guys feedback just right now. Mr. Sam?
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Can you talk about performance and scalability? Like, how does MCP manage large scale and high frequency data interactions, maybe without degrading model performance?
Oh, okay. Okay. So basically, what happens is MCPs work through two ways. They work through either Python or they work through JavaScript.
Okay.
Sindio? So you can set up an MCP on either Python or JavaScript. So even the MCP for YouTube, even the MCP for any other thing, etc., it's on Python or JavaScript. So the language doesn't really matter. Is that okay with you? You understand what I mean? Like you can create a Python version of an MCP, or you can create a JavaScript version of an MCP. That's what I mean.
Okay.
And then
Okay,
now,
thank
after you create either or of those, they will be the same. They can be connected. Let me explain it exactly in layman's terms. Tuseme, let's say you get an MCP. You create an MCP for, let's say, doing data research on cybershuja students. Sindio?
Okay.
That MCP can be used anywhere else. What I mean by that is, do you remember when I was talking about the MCP configuration and I kept on insisting, guys, just remember MCP is JSON. MCP is JSON.
Yes.
Yes. So once you create that JSON, which is, even you emailed me, Sam, just emailed me. Yeah, that MCP, that JSON format can be spread across all clients. It can be spread across. Client means Casa, VS Code, Google Code AI Assist. Hizo ndo clients. It can be spread across all clients. So no matter what you want to use, even if you're using an agent, because agents right now can use MCPs, you will still put that same configuration in there. So for you, I'd advise, you look at the JSON structure of an MCP and just keep it. Just keep it somewhere. Just look at it, connect it, keep it somewhere. You see that JSON structure? It can be scaled across anywhere, including agents. So like if you're making an agent on code with your Python, an automated agent, you can still put an MCP. The configuration will still be the same. So it's kind of, I think asymmetrical is the wrong word. It's kind of dynamic. Yeah, I think dynamic is a better word. It's dynamic across. Does that make sense?
Sure.
It makes sense?
Yeah, it makes.
Okay, so okay. We have a last question from Sam. Oh, I just talked to Sam. Antonia?
I don't have a question. Sorry.
Antonia? Antonia is not there? Okay. So, guys, thank you all for joining. For the 20 people that have sent me emails or who raised their hands up, I'm going to look at an email right now. Lastly, I'd like to apologize. We've ended the meeting very late. I'd like to apologize for joining the meeting late. I'm very, very sorry for that. It won't happen again. And kindly reach out. Reach out to my kindly reach out for help. I've given you my email. Kindly reach out. Kindly. And that's it for this session. Unless there are any other questions. I can see a hand, Mr. Sam. Mr. Sam, you had your hand up?
Maybe to ask,
Hmm.
how is the future there at your company?
How is the what? Feedback. Did you say feedback?
The future.
The future.
Yes, in QRM.
Are you talking money or just career-wise?
Career-wise.
Oh, okay. Career-wise, not money? Oh, okay. The career future is amazing. It's beautiful. So there's automation going on. There's a lot of okay. So basically, so you see also like that. You see the way we've had this session. Developers also have their sessions, and a lot of things. Basically, the release of a new feature has probably dropped from 4 weeks to 3 days. So now features are being released more quickly. So of course your work increases. Because I'm part of this department called R&D, Research and Development. So even the front-end developers at R&D, pia ni wanoma. So every day, okay, so basically, let me just summarize it for you. Every day when you wake up, and I'm talking about when you wake up, not when you start work. When you wake up, there's something new that's happened. Every single day. And I mean in terms of the internal team. So that's how I'd say life is for a QA. Every day there's something new. And then at some point, you'll get to a point where you're so good at it that before every day there is something new, you already know that like ushajua what will be new. You already know. And then now after you reach that stage, that's now level 1. Now there's level 3. Level 3 is you're supposed to figure out what is going to go wrong if we release this feature. I hope I'm making sense. Am I making sense to you, sir?
Yes.
Yeah. So before it was like, hey, what could possibly go wrong, and then we test about that, and then we test about that, etc. But now it's about, okay, what could go wrong? So we need you to point that out as the QA before we even develop. So as a QA, you're not just a tester. You're also part of the software architecture. You're just like, okay, if you architect this database with this API, it won't work. So how is it day in the life? I would honestly say every day is something new. Exactly the way I've just explained it. Every day is something new. Every day is something new. Just venye tu nimekuexplainia tu, those random things they have explained. That's exactly how the life of a QA is. But if you automate it, it can be fun like mine. Because like for me, my life is actually quite fun. I wake up on Monday, and I'm like, okay, I get what I need to do for the week. I automate it by Monday. And then for the rest of the week, my work is just to maintain. But not every QA. But QA life is very hard. But me, I've just figured out how to automate. Does that answer your question? Minus me bragging about automation and stuff.
Sure.
You sure? It's answered?
You're pretty sure.
Okay. So I don't see any more hands up. I'd like to end this meeting. I hope that even if I've wasted your time, I've given you guys valuable information. So kindly reach out. So now I'm going to leave this call and then I'm going to start reading the emails. So I'm going to sleep at around 11 p.m. Yo, send me the emails, fam. I'm very, very interactive. So, thanks, guys. Thank you all for joining. This was automating tasks with QA. Yes, I talked about QA, but I hope that whatever I talked about can be implemented in any position you're in or any position you want to take. And reason being, always remember, just automate your business processes. Take your most repetitive business processes. Remember when I told you I took my most repetitive business process, which was running my test cases manually. Just picture that. Picture your most repetitive processes. You don't have to be a QA. And then think about how you can automate them. And then when you get stuck, email me. Thank you guys for joining. I apologize for taking you until 9:17. Thank you all for staying, and goodbye. Thank you guys.